Okay, so let's talk rep ranges and rest periods. So first of all, on your program, you're always going to have a rep range for an exercise. So for example, you're not going to see 3 sets of 10. What you're going to see, for example, is something like 3 sets of 8 to 12. The reason for this is that when you give someone a set number, like if I say, right, you've got to do 6 reps or you've got to do 10 reps, it makes it really hard to select your weight. So sometimes if you go heavier, but you're aiming for 10 reps and you end up getting 8, you stress that, I've gone too heavy, I've missed the rep range. Or you go lighter, you end up getting 12 or 13, you're like, I've gone over the rep range. It's really difficult. When you've got a range to aim for, in this example 8 to 12, it makes that selection a lot easier. So that is what you'll find on the program card. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. And the most common rep ranges you'll see will be like 5 to 8, say 6 to 10, 8 to 12, 12 to 15, or maybe like 15 to 20 for higher reps. So when you're going into the gym and picking your weight, you obviously want to try and pick a weight that challenges you for that rep range. So what I mean by that is that if you are trying to do 3 sets of 8 to 12, you pick a weight and you can do 12 reps pretty easily for like 3 sets. And on that last rep, if I was to stop you in the gym and say, honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult were those last reps? And you were to say like, is 1, 2, 3 or 5 out of 10, you can go heavier. So when I say challenging, it needs to be the last couple reps. So whether that's 10th, 11th, 12th rep, you know, they need to be a little bit slower. You need to feel that resistance in the muscle. If it doesn't challenge you, it's not going to change you. So you do need to find that sweet spot. For now, that's all I'm going to say on weight selection. I am going to do a separate video going into a little bit more detail on progressive overload and talking about weight selection in more detail. But just broadly, you know that if you're reading your program and it says 3 sets of 5 to 8, and on another exercise, it's saying, 3 sets of 15 to 20. If I'm telling you to do 5 to 8 reps, that's my way of saying, like, you need to go heavier, because obviously you can lift more for 5 reps than you would be able to do for 15 to 20. If you see something that's 15 to 20, obviously you're going to have to go a little bit lighter to hit that rep range. So it's kind of like my way of indirectly saying, if I'm programming a lower rep range, go heavier for it, pick a challenging weight for that rep range. If you see something that's higher, you're going to have to go lower to obviously hit that. Rest periods. Now, you are going to fall into 2 categories, depending on who you are. You're either going to be the type of person that is that impatient Pamela or Paul, that as soon as you finish a set, you've got like itchy bum, itchy feet, and you're like, right, I need to go again. And after 20 seconds, you're looking to go again. Now, if you're falling into that category, rest period is important because you need to rest longer. If you're going too soon, straight away after 20 seconds, you're going again, the amount of weight that you're going to be able to lifting is going to decrease each set. So you need to have a little bit longer rest period so you can lift heavier weights in there. So it's important on that sense. Or probably most commonly, you might be on the other end of the scale where you might be a sociable Sharon or Steve, and you're in between sets, you're on your phone, you're chatting to people, and suddenly easily you could do 3 or 4 minutes between a set, and you're losing that intensity between your workouts. So again, on every exercise, you're going to see some rest periods, and the most common ones are these 3 here: 60 to 90, 90 to 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Generally, if you are doing a bigger compound lift, often found at the start of the program, so maybe like a squat or a deadlift or a shoulder press or a bench press, you might have longer rests, and maybe like around the 2 minute mark. Once you're getting towards the end of your workout, potentially you're doing lateral raises or triceps or biceps, smaller muscle groups, that's probably going to reduce down to 60 seconds. But yeah, rest periods are important, and yeah, depending on, you'll know which category you fall in. But just make sure you're not falling for one of those 2 mistakes. The next bit, I've got 2 things to finish with here. I'm going to talk about supersets and then drop sets, because they're important and they will feature in your program at some point. So a superset, if you didn't already know, just for clarity, is when you do one exercise immediately followed by another exercise. Then you rest after the second exercise. So this print screen here is taken straight from TrueCoach. You can see D1, D2. That means that when you see 1, 2, it might be on A1, A2 or B1 or B2, but whenever you see 1, 2 like that, that means, that's my way of saying it's a superset. So in this example here, you would do a set of lateral raises, 12 to 15 reps. As soon as you finish that exercise, you go straight into plate front raise for 12 to 15 reps. Once you finish the second exercise, you rest for 60 seconds. So the only rest really between exercises, however long it's going to take you to drop the dumbbells down from the lateral raises, pick up the plate, it might be 5-10 seconds most. You're going straight from that into the other. After you've done your second exercise, you rest, and then in this example here, you'd repeat that for 3 sets, or 3 rounds. Benefits of the supersets: they're brilliant to increase the intensity of the session, or just generally do more volume in a shorter time frame. If you're pushed for time, supersets are brilliant. And last but not least, just want to go through drop sets. Again, the most common training intensifier I will use, and it will look like this on your program. So 3 sets of 12 to 15, and then it will say drop set off the last set, 60 seconds between sets. So just for clarity, how this would work, remember it's only off the last set. So here you would do a set of 12 to 15 bicep curls, rest for 60 seconds for your first set. A rest of 12 to 15 a set of 12 to 15 reps, then you'd rest again for your second set. Then on the third set, you'd do 12 to 15 reps, and then immediately, straight after you finish that last set, let's just say you use 30 kilograms, you would lower the weight approximately, very roughly, sort of like 10-20%. So let's just say you've got 30 kilograms, you might drop it to 25 or 20. Get out. It's very, very hard to program and tell you how many sets. I can't tell you, you need to do 8 reps after that, because it's going to vary on your muscular endurance and how hard you push the set. But you want to push your drop set to failure, whether that's 5, 6, or 10 reps. If you find that you're doing a drop set, you're lowering the weight, and you're lowering the weight too much, say you're like halving the weight, so you're going from like 30 kilograms in this example to like 15, what you might end up finding is that when you do your drop set, you end up doing like 15, 20 reps. If that's the case, you've lowered the weight too much. It's just a small drop, and then get out roughly like 5 to 10 more until you hit failure, or until you feel like your form is deteriorating too much, like you need to cut the set short. So that's drop sets and supersets. Hope that's really clear. As always, any questions, just let me know.